Jamie Dornan, hello, welcome. Is this your first time on Off the Ball?
First and last time, yeah.
What someone as prolific a sportsman as you, how have you not managed to speak on Ireland's number one radio sports show?
I guess it works. Thank you for saying that and acknowledging my sporting prowess. Secondly, I've never been asked, so I mean that's probably halting me a wee bit.
I should really start things by finding out what's been going on for the last while. I know you were away working in the States, so did that just stop mid-show? And any sign or any idea as to when you might kick off again? And then what have you been up to in lockdown?
Yeah, you're right. We were in New York. We were had the whole family out there. Kids about to start school there. We were there for a long run. I was meant to be there for 4 months filming, and then we are going to stay on a wee bit longer. And I think the next job I was going to do was sort of East Coast of States as well. So we were going to stay in New York and come back here for the summer. Had it all planned as best as you can plan, given what I do and how sporadic and random and hard to predict it is. We had a solid plan in place, and we were 3 days off starting shooting, and we got locked down initially just for 10 days, and then after about 2 or 3 days we realized we weren't going to be back in a studio in 10 days. So that was it. Maybe we decided what was best for that was to come back here. So we live out in the countryside, a couple of hours outside London, so everyone back here. And there's talk about the show going up again in towards the end of the year, October time. But I think New York's going to be one of the last places that sort of writes itself, to be honest.
Are we able to know what's in the show? Or
yeah, it's a show. Yeah, it's a show called Dr. Death. It's based on it's the most listened to podcast in the world, 2018. Same name, Dr. Death, about this neurosurgeon specializing in spinal fusion who was maiming people, making them paraplegic, end up killing 2 people, and it's crazy. Worth checking out the podcast. I'd do that. I wouldn't wait around for the show because it could be a long time. It could be a long time waiting. So that's it. So, but if that doesn't happen, then we're trying to get other things in place where we need to, as soon as able to work again, need to work. My overheads are pretty high, and I've got to keep her lit. So we've been here, and actually, mate, to be honest, we live out in the countryside so that we can have more space for the kids. So we've got the kids are it's all about keeping them happy, and we've actually been having a pretty nice time. The weather's been great. I sort of said at the beginning of this, I said, if you have time in your hands, and even with kids and whatever, you need to get some kind of schedule. You need to have something in place to keep yourself sane. I said, you'll either come out of lockdown in the worst shape of your life or the best shape of your life, because people have the time and you'll be able to have the discipline and to work out if you're up for it. And I've been trying to be pretty good about that. I've been trying to keep myself pretty active, to be honest, because I'd go mad if I didn't, and B, especially it's when your health has been compromised and there's so much chat about health, and in the mainstream media, you just want to try to do your bit, I guess, and try to stay on the right side of it,
Yeah. You've got one school goer now, right? So
two now. Well, one, and then the
So how's that homeschooling? Have you been partaking? Have you abandoned it at this stage, or where are you at with it?
I've got to say it's got more relaxed as time's gone on.
The world over. It's like half an hour now. It's like
it is.
The year.
The curriculum that we're following, and the teachers are making these wee videos that they put up, and they're getting less and less attention. And we're being open and honest with the school about that too. Their school's opening up on this coming Monday, and we're having this debate whether it's the right thing or not to send it back. There's only 5 or 6 weeks left, of term. Mm-hmm. I find it interesting. It's like I've been sort of doing mostly maths, which I was terrible at school, and coding. Our 6-year-old's doing computer coding.
Yeah. I'm thinking the coding's not easy if you weren't brilliant at the maths.
Well, no, listen, it's pretty basic stuff. She's 6. It's like, can you move the the wizard from this side of the screen to this side of the screen, and then can you make him disappear by clicking on it? But she loves it, so she's running way ahead, and she's wanting to do stuff that the year 3s are doing. She's just in year 1, and so we're having fun. A bit of PE I'm in charge of, and which is just running around the garden. Basically, it's been. But yeah, it's got more and more lax.
And do you, from your point of view, like, do you peak and trough like everybody else and have your moments where you feel a bit crap? Or have you kind of made peace with the fact that, this is what it is. It's a period of time, and glass half full, try and see all the good bits of being able to spend all that time, with your kids, and to see it 3 meals a day, and to always be around.
I think the latter. I think you know me pretty well. Like, I'm a pretty positive person. Like, I'm not saying I don't have morose days or days where I feel down or whatever. And they probably offered themselves to me more mornings than most during this period. I am a believer that you have a bit of a choice in those circumstances to try to put that negativity aside and kick on with the day. And I do think exercise is a big part of that. Like, that can really help, and if you're feeling a certain way and you can sort of flush that out or force your body into a physical reaction, which then changes your mental state. And, we all know what releasing endorphins and all does for your mind. It's only good things. So I'm a big believer in, even if I feel crap, trying to rally and try to make good of the day. And to be honest, a lot of that's taken out of your hands often with the kids, and if the kids are in a great mood and they want to play and stuff, you get swept along with that, and you've often no choice but to go with that, and they can help bring you out of those low moments.
Yeah. What about like, people are on? I was on a Zoom call with someone that I work with, and was with Shane Lowry, and one of the questions came in is, what are you reading in all your downtime during this moment in time? I was like, I've got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. Are you kidding me? I'm reading 2 pages at night just so it makes me fall asleep instantly. So from someone, I'm sure you probably have to get through a fair few scripts. Have they been coming in thick and fast at the moment, or how does the process work? Does it get sifted through by your agent first?
Yeah, it does. I'm just going to I've got this is my water.
I got to show you this one. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Brian and Amy engraved glass.
Oh, look at that. That's
Guinness.
Should that not be in a special cupboard somewhere?
Guinness cleared that one.
It's been a nice aspect of my industry that everyone's seeing it as this opportunity to try to get and package all these different projects or these scripts that maybe wouldn't have got the attention that they deserved, or there wasn't enough focus on them because everyone was just focusing on what was in production, whatever. And me personally, it's been an amazing thing. There's a couple of things that I'm sort of setting up a production company at the moment with a mate, and we're trying to sort of build our slate and get some stuff on there. A couple of things that we're writing ourselves, and a couple of things that we've got the rights to, or scripts that I was going to do that all kind of fell apart that now we're sort of regurgitating. So I've had loads of time to put into that, and that when time allows, that's where my energy's gone. And it's been great. I've read loads of great scripts, but my main focus has been writing. My friend and I are writing this script together, and it's been massively rewarding. And I just wouldn't be doing it. Like, we've been talking about doing it for ages. I just wouldn't be doing it if I was in New York shooting 14-hour days, 5 days a week. It just wouldn't be happening. So I'm sort of grateful for the time to be able to put into this project. And my wife is a creative person as well, and I got an EP that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and she's also writing. She's writing a musical at the moment. So she has her studio where she writes, and then I have an office where I write. So actually, we try to carve out time in the day where she can work and I can work, which just makes it quite focused. Again, having that schedule, I think you need to have that, or you won't get anything done. Do
you get scripts posted in your letterbox?
No, I wish. Wouldn't that be class? I'd love that. No, I'd love that.
We got one over the back wall. Not for me. Funny for the actors.
Just say, sure,
no one's quite that desperate. No, but one and titled Amy Schumann, which was nice. Didn't even get her name right. So yeah, that one. I don't know if that's been read yet. Literally chucked over the back wall.
Was that someone just taking a chance, knowing your address and going?
Well, I think Amy had gotten an original script from some guy, and then I met him at the shops, and he was asking had she read it, and I didn't even know that he'd given it to her. But then I don't know whether the second draft of it, I went out to let the dog out for a wee there recently and came across a script on our patio. So I said, well, what's going on here? Oh yeah, some guy messaged me saying that he was throwing a script over the back wall. It was a modified version. So looking forward to seeing her perform in that one now in the coming years.
Yeah, that sounds like an instant classic, I've got to say. By the way, it'd be quite a nice story of like the origins of like, and how did you get involved in this story?
It is a great story. It just would want to map out that it would be a phenomenal script to follow suit, but I don't know if it's coming this route, whether that's going to work out. Tell me, so I was looking as well, and Instagram has become a thing recently. It's like a reboot of it. What's going on there?
Don't know, mate. Don't know why I did it.
Is that boredom or is it encouragement? Because you look at movie stars around the world now, and you look at, I know The Rock is an extreme example of that, but he's got 180 million people that follow him on Instagram. And like if a tenth of those, even 1% of those go and see his movie, it's incredible. Is there a little bit of that, or what's the thinking behind it?
No, truthfully, there's none of that. And I've actually always been one of those people who's been like, I'd rather people just saw you as an actor and they just judged you on your work, and you weren't bringing people to the theater based on having a big following online. It's kind of like that guy. Yeah, more boredom, mate, to be honest. More like I felt like at the beginning of this whole period, this whole lockdown situation, you were spending more and more time on your phone, and but also that's where we gather information now, and it was like, being around. My wife had Instagram, and that's the only other person I'm seeing. We're all locked down in here together, obviously, and not seeing anyone else from outside. And it just became a thing of like, I'm on my phone so much, and my wife would sometimes see this really interesting thing or get this interesting snippet about something that she's got from Instagram, and I was like, oh, fuck it, like maybe I'll just get it, just get it. And actually, I thought I would just do it quietly, and I thought that if you had it ever and you cancelled your account or you deleted or whatever, I thought it was like a year later and then it was all wiped. And I had this email, I typed in Instagram saying, I wonder, what's that? And so before I clicked it, it's like, boop, 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 and it's just like redone again. And whether they wanted to or not, all the people who followed me before from 4.5 years ago, whenever I was on before, were following me again.
They were waiting for this moment to not lose anyone. It's like, oh, that's Jamie Dornan. He's never coming back live again. They were just waiting there every day. Still nothing. Well, the ultras were waiting. Those 1.795 ultras are waiting.
I mean, those poor people who would be excited about that. But I know it's just funny how you find yourself using it. I'm just so stupid on it, and I find it hard. Look, I struggle with being a serious person at the best times. So I don't know. Look, there's a part of me that thinks as soon as life is back to normal and pubs are open and everything, all the shops, everything's open again, we can travel freely again, I might get rid of it, because I really was quite opposed to it when life was normal. So listen, we'll see, but like, I'm not putting too much stock into it.
I know you're a really big foodie. What sort of what have you been cooking up? Have you been experimenting? You're a green egg man, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going on there? Is that like most of the people a real focal point of your day? Because I can't wait to get to dinner every single day. Literally the most important day. Keeping kids alive and dinner.
Yeah, and listen, and we're pretty similar. And I'm a big dinner person too. You know, I'm not a great breakfast guy. I really struggle with breakfast. I don't wake up hungry. I'm not one of those people. But in saying that, if I'm in a hotel and someone's cooking for me or something, I'm like, I will eat a big breakfast. But I'm at home, and you know what it's like. 3 kids under 7, you're grappling around just trying to keep the train on tracks in the morning and keep everyone going. And even without school to get them to, you still there's a lot going on. And you know, our youngest is only 15 months, so it's a mad time. So you're sort of dealing with that. But I realized I'm okay with that. I used to annoy me. I used to be like, I wish I wanted a big breakfast, and I'm someone who I don't know, like it just feels right to me that I should have a big breakfast, good lunch, big dinner, whatever. And I once saw this interview or read something. Laird Hamilton, do you know Laird Hamilton?
Yeah. The big surfer.
Big wave surfer, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was saying this thing about how he never eats breakfast in the morning. He doesn't eat until he's worked up an appetite. And it just really resonated with me. And I've just never thought like that. I've always thought you just sort of force yourself to eat before you do. So now I'll even have even if I train in the morning, I'll have a coffee and a banana or something in my system and train, and then have a proper breakfast at sort of 9:30 or something like that. So I've got into that a bit. Lunch is the thing I really struggle with. I really struggle with knowing what to have. What I want for lunch is a ribeye steak, a load of chips, and 3 different veg. Like honestly, that's what I could take down.
That's so country. It's like dinner in the middle of the afternoon.
Is it? Yeah, well, maybe it is, but like I'm starving then,
We
But you end up.
My parents were both doctors, and they didn't have time in the evening to do it. So we used to always have our dinner. But then when I said that to some of my friends, they were like, "What are you doing? That is such a country bumpkin thing to do."
Really, yeah.
Yeah. And then tea is tea time. Yeah.
Tea is tea. I mean, I grew up eating tea late because my dad is a doctor too, and he used to just not get home till about 8. And we used to have dinner at 8. And actually, the hungriest I am in the day is about 4:30. I don't care. Even if I have allowed myself a ribeye and chips and everything for lunch, I'm starving at 4:30. I'm stuffing bags of biltong and anything I can get my hands on into me. And then eat a massive meal again at 8 once the kids are down,
Yeah.
But my wife's an amazing cook, like really brilliant. I'm pretty good, and I have like a few things that I'm pretty good at. And I sort of looking back now, if we look back at this lockdown period, probably should have pushed myself a bit more in terms of the things that I can cook. But I'm very good at the 3 or 4 like favorite things that I'm good at.
Not over yet. You've got time.
It's true. It's true.
Don't no defeatist. Just
listen. I know.
Start this weekend.
I've taken on ribs, which I've shared the recipe with you.
It was an outstanding recipe.
Great recipe. That's a great book in general, by the way. That's a great barbecue. I'm also just I'm such a meat. Like I'm just meat. I'm so Irish when it comes to food and with just meat and potatoes. Like I mean, I could just live on that. I could probably count on 2 hands the meals I've had without meat. I'm talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my entire life. Like I'm just terrible. Like I'll have, there's so many times Millie will be like, so I'm gonna do this quinoa thing with asparagus and an egg on top of thing, and I'll be like, and she goes, oh, don't worry, like I'll put lardons in there or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sounds great. I can't even envisage eating it without meat in there.
And do you grow some of your own stuff in your garden?
You can't grow meat in the garden, no.
Do you have animals? No.
Sorry.
Do you have any animals? Besides
a horse.
No eating dogs, but do you have any cat?
No, got some bats. Got some bats. Bats are good if you can catch them. We've got a horse. We have 2 goats. We have 5 chickens, and a dog. So it's lively enough. Chickens do about 10 eggs a day. That's pretty good.
Good quality?
Yeah, really good. Really good. So we have, and then, we grow chilies and some stuff like that. Muck around with potatoes sometimes, but, tried to do potatoes for Christmas a couple of years ago. I grew them ourselves, and I went down to pick them up, a few days before Christmas, and I've been in there for a few months, and I was like, this is going to be perfect. and Elsie Dulcie, our eldest, was helping me pick, and she started digging first. She was like, "Daddy, I've got one." I was like, "Oh my God, it's actually working." She pulled out a potato, and literally that's they were talking like 16 people we were having over from Ireland for. It's like, yeah, let's go.
Potato fries for Christmas, yeah.
But I'd like to be better, but it's time and kids, and it's time to grow your own stuff.
And who does that? Is that you that kind of tends to the garden, or
you can't even get it out? We have
a rhetorical question, but go on, I'll do it anyway.
And look, we've a bit of space here, we have a bit of space. So no, we have Max, we have our gardener who's here. He's here 5 days a week. He's here, and he's unbelievable.
You're a big sports fan. Have you struggled not having live sports on like everybody else, or is it something that you watch a lot of, or do you have the time to watch it?
Yeah, I tell you, I have a bit of a gym set up here. So when I'm training at home. When I've got kettlebells and whatever I have, and a running machine, we've got a Peloton. We've got all this stuff down there, which is great. And one of my favorite things about having it all there is I have a TV in there, and I just exclusively watch Sky Sports Golf on it. And I've been loving watching actually all the Solheim Cup replay stuff. I'm just loving this. That seems to be on the most. Bit of Ryder Cup stuff, Old Opens, all those Chronicles of a Champion, all that. I can't get enough of all that, And then I found myself, I sent you those pictures to you a couple of weeks ago or last week, watching this Lions second test, 2009. I found myself doing that because of, genuinely missing rugby. And, rugby and golf have been my two sort of main sports. I'm a big football fan, soccer fan. But I found myself, I've been missing that. But as the years have gone on, I've been less and less into it. It's sort of the thing that with having a family and stuff has subsided a wee bit is football. But rugby and golf, I feel I need. But it's interesting, mate. I was thinking, you take it all away, and yes, look, we're all missing it, and we all love it, and we don't need it. You think you really need it, and you look at the let's take golf and these tournaments you have these Rolex events and the money that they're for and all this stuff, and it's sort of, when you take a step back from it, all just seems a wee bit too much. Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon? Do you not think?
I do. I just think the money involved, when you think it, look at no one's having it, apart from whoever set up Netflix, no one's having a great day at the office financially in this time. I don't know. There's been a bit of that thing of how much people are struggling, and then I've just been a bit like, Jesus, golf tournaments and the money that's played for every week, and does there need to be such big events every week, and such huge money, and you come 50th and you still get 10 grand, and I don't know. It's just made me look at it a bit differently. But by the way, I'll still be gagging for it when it comes back. You know what I mean? But it's made me assess it a little different.
Have you played golf since they opened the courses back up?
Yeah.
A lot.
I got out this morning. Actually, listen, I'm lucky, but just before Christmas, I put in a golf simulator into my house, and so I played more golf than most people. I was actually texting with Rory a few weeks ago, and I was like, have you played any golf? And he said, haven't hit a ball in 7 weeks. I'm here with blisters on my hands from playing so much golf in my room. So it's been nice because I've taken out the real golf now, and I'm playing the best golf of my life, I have to say. It's just great golf, but I'm hitting.
So what's your go-to course on the simulator?
It's funny, the company who make it are an Asian company, so there's a lot of Chinese courses and a lot of Japanese courses I've never heard of.
Right.
Some South Korean courses. But then it has, a couple off the roster for us for the Dunhill. It's got Kings Barnes, and it's got St Andrews, all 3 or 4 courses at St Andrews. So I play the old course St Andrews a lot because, you're hoping that every October you'll you'll be there for real, getting your Dunhill invitation. And because, let's be honest, it's quite a scoreable course. It's not, if you're hitting it quite well, you'll play well at St Andrews. So for a confidence booster, or if you're thinking about having the simulator, is you tinker so much because you can. So you'll be watching something on Sky Sports and McGinley will say something about strong left-hand grip or something. You're like, downstairs and try that, and you do it.
But you have a telly down there by the simulator, so can you kind of get your tips from it and then literally go and hit shots immediately?
No, I mean, I'm willing to take the 10-second journey away from that TV to get down there.
Green shot. I must listen. I must see what he said next. Up the stairs. Makes sense, all right. No wonder you've got calves like Phil Mickelson.
Well, he has calves like me. I brought the iPad down there just a couple of times, and often I like, which I was able to do before Christmas when there's still golf on, and early in the new year, or there wasn't golf on there, but I would bring, if there's live sport on, if there's football or whatever, and I wanted to hit balls, I'd bring my iPad down there and I'd be able to watch it while I hit the balls, which is kind of a dream. It's also, it's good. It's a good setup.
So where do you ordinarily play your golf? Is it locally to where you're living now?
Yeah.
Or
So I live in Gloucestershire. And a club called Minchinhampton. It's got 2 new courses, 36 holes new, and then it's got an old course on the Common, which is like sort of linksy. That is, I played it for the first time. There's a 9-minute walk from my front door, which is pretty great. So, and the weather's been unbelievable. So I've been out, it's been really nice.
I'm out this afternoon. Actually, I'll give you a laugh. I'm on the bike with the clothes on the shoulders. I said to my missus there, she goes, "What?" I haven't done it for 25 years, but I want to have a few drinks social distancing drinks in Connor Ridge, Shane Lowry's manager's house after playing golf with him. So yeah, I said, no, I'm going to get the bike down there with the clubs on and helmet. She's like, I want a picture of that. No, you can't. I've got my golf shoes on here now, ready to go, ready to sprint out the door.
Nothing else, just that shirt and some golf shoes.
It looks that way. I got a pair of pink shorts on, and trust me, I do not have dark complexion skin, so it looks as though it could be in the buff. But do you, from a rugby point of view, you played a bit of rugby to a good standard?
What is a good standard? I mean, compared to you, probably not a great standard. But I played an okay standard. I played in the first at Methody, which is a big rugby school. But only in my upper 6th year, not in 5th year or lower 6th. I was, in fact, I was nowhere near it either of those years.
Back three on the wing, fullback.
I was out half until upper 6th, and then moved on to the wing when they realised I did the 100 sub 11. So it was, I didn't really have a choice. And also because at 10 I probably ran it too much myself. And they thought maybe give me a bit more space. And David Wells, who was our coach, who's sort of iconic figure up in the north, decided to move me on the wing. And then I
love that you've spun that positively. That's so good. It's always a promotion from 10 to the wing, isn't it? Hands, you forgot to leave. You left out the hands like feet part. No.
Hold on. Let's. It's funny. Obviously, because of what I'm saying about me being quite a positive person, I've only ever seen it that way. just with his pace, we just have to make use of him out there. So anyway, school, and then to be honest, I played my best rugby ever the year after I left school. But weirdly, I was still at school. I repeated sixth form after my mom died, and I stayed an extra year at school. And obviously, I was too old to play for Methody anymore. I was very young for my original year, so I was only missed out by a month or something, which was annoying. But so I couldn't play at school, so I played Belfast Harlequins. I played the Harlequins under 20s for a year. And yeah, at the end of that year, which is probably you're trying to coax out of me because you know it very well, I had an Ulster under 21 trial. That, you've heard about more than once.
How did it go again?
Well, listen, I'm sat here, 18 years.
What could have been?
18 years later as an actor. I wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. Look, I think I could have played a decent like club, All Ireland Division 2 probably, and been in the stages and as a real job, getting your hunt. Back then, I remember I played for Harlequins first twice. Then when I was 19, and got 50 quid each time to play, and I remember thinking this is like unbelievable that you could get handed money to play rugby. And then I went off to uni, played for a bit. Didn't go to a good rugby uni or whatever, but moved back, fly half at uni, back to 10. And then I had a big decision to make about going back to uni, and I didn't want to go, and I wanted to move to London. And I had an England Universities trial in the August, at the end of the August, and I said, to be honest, that's the only reason I'd want to go back for the England Universities trial, which is some nonsense. So he was like, well, if that's it, then I'm happy to let you step out of uni and follow your gut, which I did.
And would you keep an eye on Ulster's progress? And obviously you're a big Irish fan. Anytime would you go to a bit of trouble to go and watch an Ireland game if you're in a foreign country?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Particularly if it's a big game, it's an important game. I've had. Jesus, I think back now. It's. Back. This is going to sound like sort of. When I was at school, when I was growing up, every Friday night every other Friday night would be at Ravenhill. It's a big thing going to Ulster matches and those Friday night games, and I had some great memories of going to watch Ulster then, and running on the pitch to try to get Gary Longwell's autograph after. Those are the days. And then I think when I first moved to London, fell out of interest with Ulster a wee bit, just because you're away and you're doing different things, and it's just it wasn't on my radar as much. And then more recently, I probably got back into following Ulster closely. But with Ireland, I've never wavered. It was just a big thing for me growing up. We had an apartment in Ranelagh when I was a kid, almost exclusively for when my sister was at uni there and stuff. But when we were younger than that, it was exclusively for international weekends and going down and staying there. And actually, the day I proposed to Millie, we were in LA, and I was out there doing pilot season or whatever, 8-9 years ago, and Ireland were playing Wales in the Six Nations. And there's this pub out in Santa Monica by the beach. It was the only place. It's a bit better now in LA. It was the only place that showed it. You $20 to get in, and it kicked off at like 6 a.m. LA time. So I had Millie up at 5. It was way down at the beach. So it was like 45-minute drive, and she was going, "What?" And I knew I was going to propose to her that day, and she was like, "I can't. Honestly, you're getting me up to go." I was like, "Just you have to come. You go yourself." I'm like, "No, you have to come with me." Dragged her the whole way to Santa Monica to watch, and we got beaten by Wales. It was a terrible match. The TV was crap as well. They kept losing their signal. It was dreadful. And Millie was just like, "What am I doing with this guy? Like, what a loser." And I was just trying to tell her, like, your day's going to get better, or maybe it's not. But in my head, it's going to get better. Yeah, I make an effort to watch Ireland, definitely. Yeah.
Tough crowd, getting blamed for bad broadcasting.
Yeah, but listen, I paid 20 quid.
Did you get your breakfast for 20 quid as well?
Yeah, if someone cooks it for me, I'll eat it.
Just before you go, what are you watching at the moment? You talked about Netflix. Are you someone that delves into the deepest, darkest parts of Netflix, or do you just skate on the top along with everybody else? I.e., have you watched The Last Dance?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, with Netflix? I think there's other platforms that it's sort of easier to find good stuff, if I'm honest with you. With Netflix, they're sort of quite forceful in what they want you to watch, aren't they? And it's like they have picked their prize asset for the week and they are shoving it down your throat when you get on there. So some stuff you can't avoid. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. It's just sometimes it means you miss out on some other great stuff that's on there that you have to hunt about for a wee bit.
Mm.
But yeah, you know, we did. Have you heard of this thing, Normal People? Nobody's talking about it. This tiny show.
I've started the book twice and not completed it. So my missus is raving about it. Says it's really good.
Like it's brilliant. They are brilliant. It's very nuanced, beautiful work. You know, the two leads. So yeah, we took The Last Dance. Yeah, of course.
Did you watch it with Millie?
No, I didn't. But there's a few people that are sort of above the sport and above, you know, like, you know, they are more than just, you know, a player in the game, and Jordan's obviously one of them. And so I thought it would be sort of enough to get Millie involved. And she didn't really have any interest. I mean, look, there's a lot of it she'd say she would have interest in, and then there is some stuff that is just very much about the season and losing to, you know, Orlando Magic and what that meant and all this sort of stuff. But it's phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, what an athlete, and you know, just the scale of his popularity and his fame and his reach and just the athleticism of the guy. And the whole time they're smoking massive cigars in the change room.
What's that about? How did you get away with that? I want to understand that. Is that just a look smoke? Surely is there a little inhale going on there? What's like? It's a non-stop smoky fest.
Yeah, you sort of don't with a cigar, don't you? I mean, I think that's the thing about it. It's not like really going into your lungs. It's not great for the inside of your mouth and all this sort of diseases you can get within the mouth, I think. But your lungs are let alone, really, I think, by cigars. I'm not a big cigar guy. I probably have more cigars in the last 12 months than I have in my life, which is about 4 in the last 12 months. But, you know, if you really commit to it, it's like an hour and a half to like fully get through one if you want to finish it. But I'm usually just like at a wedding or, you know, that's when I'll rock one out.
And what's your thoughts on pre-game? I agree with you on Jordan. Do you think because he's bigger, you know, than other players, do you think he has the right to perceive himself that way as well? Or do you look for a little bit more humility in kind of heroes of the game?
Well, everyone says you were a bit of a prick in the changing room.
Not everyone can be wrong.
Listen, no, and listen, you know, there's some people you let away with a bit more probably, and I think what is interesting is that they kind of all said that he got the best out of them and got more out of them than he would have had he been just Mr. Nice Guy. So there's something in it, and I do think at the heart of it, as much as he had all these like internal battles and like he needed those to get through the games and perform the way he did, there's also like he wanted the team to win. You know, he wanted them to be champions, you know, every year if he could. So, you know, there's more allowance for it, you know, than most players because of the quality he had, you know. But then you hear stories that, you know, where people, you just don't have to be like that. Like I'm not, you know, there's lots of brilliant team sportsmen who are not like that and still got the best of themselves and their and the players around them every week, you know.
Yeah. What's next? What's next for the next couple of months? Like so, you know, I don't know if you're a music goer, but if there were drive-in music gigs, or you know, now that we're going to be seeing Premiership or football coming back, will you watch that? Will you partake, or are you happy with the current existence to go on for another couple of months?
No, I'm ready for things to start to normalise now. I think not that there hasn't been elements of it that I haven't loved, but yeah, no, I think there's a drive-in cinema that's happening near us next week, I think, that we might go to, and there's a couple of things like that. A gig in your car? No.
The old Danny Zuko.
Oh God! Can you imagine? There's just no way. That's not going to work.
Yeah. And what about things like?
You know what I'd love? You know what I'd love? I'd love it if there was like like a Glastonbury-esque, or something like Glastonbury, or something that was, Glastonbury's obviously at the end of June. It's already been cancelled. There's talk about it apparently being cancelled for next year already. I don't know how that works. But something, if there was something like that was an outdoor like festival, outdoor gig, because we know those days where you're with people you love and all your mates and your wife, whatever it is, and it's in your head, it's always sunny, and there's just such a big build up, and you're drinking during the day in the sun. They're brilliant days. If there's something like that was in the middle of September or something that seemed like plausible, I would love that. I would just love to have, because imagine the feeling there, the euphoria, and everyone finally able to, because people, as great as it is that it's easing now and people are going to be able to see each other, it's not real yet. It'd be great to have something to really look forward to at the end. It's still clinging on the summer, that's a big outdoor event like that. But I don't know. I mean, where do you stand on the Ryder Cup without fans?
I don't think it works. I don't think it works. That is the Ryder Cup. And if you don't have cheering, if you don't have sledging going on, if you don't have a bit of that, sometimes it's a bit over the top in the States. We're probably guilty of it as well, but it does seem it's more extreme over in the States, where there's a lot of bustling mid shots. But if you don't have that to rile the players up, I don't think you have the same, it's not the same context of what Ryder Cup has been built on. So I think you're better off pushing it a year if that's the case.
And what about the Celebrity Ryder Cup?
Definitely go with that. You've got to, at all costs, push that ahead, irrespective of whether there's a real Ryder Cup thereafter.
Can we just get it on record here that the only people to win their matches when we were part of the Celebrity Ryder Cup team in Paris were you, me, and Niall Horan, all the Irish people, the only people to bring home the points? Shocking.
What's the plan for the rest of the day?
I promised my kids a bit of proper straight up daddy time because it's half term, so we're not even doing homeschooling in the morning, and I stepped out for a bit of golf. So I've got to put some proper time in now, and it's a glorious day. So happily enough, I'll muck around with them for a bit, and then I've hired a car for the last couple of weeks, because when we moved to New York, we thought we weren't coming back for a long time, and we got rid of our cars. So I have the old 1988 convertible Merc that has 2 seats in it. We've been kind of trying to get by on with a family of 5. Absolute nightmare. So I've been having to hire cars here and there, but actually I'm sorted out on Monday. I'm getting a car for a short-term deal, but so I've got to drop a hire car off. All very exciting. And we might have a crack at making pizza on the green egg tonight, which I've never done.
All right. Yeah, make your own dough? No, yeah. Those bases are too easy to buy now. Someone sent me like a yogurt-based dough recipe. I was like, thanks a million. Never trying it. No. So, yeah. Chicken on a pizza?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Is that place in Dublin still open, Miller's?
Yeah, it is. I haven't been for years, but you can get everything and anything.
Yeah, it's like fish and chip pizzas.
Yeah. And it works there, but I don't know whether that's just because they've been doing it for years and they get away with it. Yeah. But like, if you tried one of those at home, you're like, what am I doing? Because you'd also make the balls of it too.
Yeah, I'm not for the first time I try a pizza on the green egg. I'm not doing haddock and chips on there.
I haven't done the Kamado Joe pizza yet, so maybe this weekend.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
Listen, brilliant stuff. Thanks for your time this afternoon, and enjoy your play date. And I'm going to go off for 9 holes and a couple.
Are you only playing 9?
Oh yeah, we're only allowed to play 9 at the moment.
Oh yeah, because in the Republic you've been pretty strict, right?
Yeah, I think they have. To be honest with you, 9 or 12 suits me these days.
Yeah.
Like 18, I start getting tired at 15. And any half decent score is thrown away. So 9, 12 holes, getting no trouble at home, gone for 2 hours, and you're back.
Are you telling me the next time we go on a golf tour somewhere, we're going to have to work it around you only being able to play 9 to 12 holes a day?
Well, listen, we missed the first 3 or 4 holes on that last day anyway, so that's only 14 or 15 holes. So that was actually my plan to not wake. Brilliant stuff. Listen, thanks for talking to us, and good luck in the next while. All right, cheers.
Good man.